Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. I'm just going to give it a minute and see if any more people show up, and then we'll begin. If you have any questions, just raise your hand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So thank you to Kelly and Sherry for joining us. I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask questions about halfway through, but if you have a question while I'm talking, just go ahead and raise your hand on the screen. Okay, so you are here tonight because you are a volunteer with Crohn's and Colitis Canada, and you will be handling the registration table at the Gutsy Walk. So first and foremost, I want to thank you for being a volunteer. CCC has the most dedicated and most loyal volunteers, and words cannot describe cannot express our gratitude to you. Quite frankly, we wouldn't be able to do Gutsy Walk without you, so we really appreciate everything that you do, and we are here to support you in as many ways as we can, as much as we can. And these are just some of the things that people have said about our volunteers. Okay, so Gutsy Walk. Gutsy Walk is powered by volunteer committees, again, working in partnership with Crohn's and Colitis Canada staff. All events across Canada will be held on Sunday in June, and this is going to be the 24th year. This event has raised over $35 million for research, advocacy, and patient programs. And we have grown so much from 1996, when our goal was 240K, to our goal this year, which is 3.4 million. So we've come a long way. So the first thing that we suggest you do, well, actually, I mean, this is imperative, is that we recommend you pre-bundle the supplies for each registration volunteer team for easy access. It just makes it easier to access instead of everyone sharing from the same pot. So these are things such as pens, yellow highlighters, calculators, scrap paper, extra pledge forms. You can print off extra pledge forms from the website, from the Gutsy Walk website. It's under tools and tips. We recommend having 5 to 10 medium-sized boxes depending on the size of your event. And suggested supplies would include coin rollers if you're expecting to have a lot of people coming with coins, tape and glue sticks, whiteout, paper clips, staples, scissors, those kinds of things. And what will come from us? You will be receiving 2 shipments from the national office. One will contain T-shirts, the captain gifts, the TPE gifts, and the tattoos. The second contains all of the printed documents, the tally pages, instructions, forms, and the night deposit bags, and the peer litter bags, and those kind of items. Okay, on to event day setup. So for the entrance to the walk, we recommend having a welcome sign, making it obstacle-free, and to have greeters there at the front to greet people as they come into the walk. We recommend having 3 people in this area, and the reason why we recommend 3 is not only is it more efficient, but also less uncomfortable for volunteers. You should also have a list for the volunteers of contact persons, so if there's media or sponsors, they know where to direct them, and they know who to call the contact. This is the first point of contact with participants, and so we want these people to be we want everyone to be very warm and welcoming, but especially the greeters, as they're going to be their first point of contact. If possible, you could also have maybe a mascot can be there to set the mood, and as well to have them just let everyone know about parking or any of those kind of other issues. So registration, what are you going to have at registration? Chairs available, greeters in the registration area to welcome, and they can also have clipboards with pledge forms ready on the clipboards for people who haven't brought their pledge. Sometimes people don't always bring everything, so they can fill out the pledge forms on the clipboards. So this is a good registration setup area that you can see. We're going to move on to the more detailed involvement with registration, but these people here are working in pairs. So depending on what size your location is, these people here, you could have 4 of them, you could have 6 of them, you could have 8 of them, but there's always going to be pairs working. And then these people at the back, or it may be a separate area for the tally area, they're going to be counting. And then these people here, there's going to be someone back here dealing with the t-shirts. And then these are going to be all your supplies here, your office supplies, your participant envelopes, your markers, your paper clips. And then right down here is going to be that box. So remember we discussed the 5 to 10 medium-sized boxes. This is where they're going to be putting in the envelopes to carry over to the tally area. So this is a great layout here. They've added a picnic bench to the registration area, and it's great if you could have one of these. Again, people don't always bring everything fully filled out, so it's great to have a picnic bench that they can sit on instead of like bending over and being uncomfortable. This is a wonderful layout because they were able to do it indoors, which obviously is great if it rains or if there's a lot of wind that day, but we know it's not always possible for everyone to have an indoor solution, but it's great if you could have one. Here's another example of the registration table, and this one is really great because they have the t-shirts on display back here hanging up. So that's really great to have like different, you can see here, I don't know if you can zoom in and see they have the sizes written at the top here, and that's really great because sometimes people will, when they register, they say they're a medium, but they might come and then they look at the t-shirts and they say, actually, I'm a large, so they can actually change their t-shirt size without holding up people, and they can see it visually. This is another registration area. So they've got it. It looks like they actually have a couple of maybe one here and one here. So they'll have the registration table here. They can bring their monies, their pledge forms, register, and then walk this way, grab their t-shirts, and then continue on to the walk. This is a top pledge earner registration area. Again, depending on your site, not everyone is going to be able to have a full area for the top pledge earners. If you are able, if you're not a huge site, what you can do is maybe even have a separate line for top pledge earners and kind of make that as a VIP line. So the process flow chart here, participant checks in to the registration table with the registration volunteers. They'll welcome the participants, they'll check their information, they'll count their monies. The registration captain is there on site to double check the monies, prepare forms, prepare for the night deposit, and then off to take it to the night deposit box. Some tips, assess the support of your registration volunteers. So their experience, how long have they been volunteering for, maybe their age, and the years that they've been with us. If they're new, maybe just go over things more to clarify the process, as it can be overwhelming at first. Expected offline monies and expected number of participants as well. So, process of the night deposit baking. The registration captain will pick up a bank deposit key from the RBC branch a few days before the walk. So, you should already be notified, provided with the details of your RBC branch. The captain will also be preparing and depositing money. So we suggest having 2 people in the registration tent at all times when handling money Please do not leave any money unattended, and having a co-pilot is also highly recommended. So night deposit taking, volunteer duties. So greet participants, again, greet participants, thank them for supporting Gutsy Walk. If a participant is a TPE and you have a separate registration tent or a separate line for them, greet him or her to that registration tent or that line. So again, you're going to be working in pairs. So this is the participants' online report that you will be getting from National. We will be printing this off on the Friday before the walk, and we'll be sending it to you, and you will be printing it off. So this report will contain all of the information from everyone who has registered online. So it contains their first name, last name, email, how much they've raised online, if they qualify for as a TPE, if they qualify for a t-shirt, if their t-shirt size, and then right here you can mark where if they've received their t-shirt or not. You can also see if they're team captain and all their team information as well. So again, this only shows the online information. So if participants come and they do only offline or they do a mixture of online and offline, it's not going to show all of their fundraising. So if you don't see them on this list because they've just been doing offline fundraising, then you can just write the name and email address on the back of the list. So just follow this format and continue with that. So if a participant has raised funds exclusively online, collect his or her donation history page if available and go to step 4. So this is the pledge form. So this is if someone does have offline monies. Oh, someone has a question. Okay, so this question comes from Kelly. Hi, will our local CCC staff member have access to run the report after Friday? Ours is always very out of date as we have a lot of changes between Friday night and Sunday morning. So that's a great question. It's very true that you will have more, and it is out of date. That's the earliest. That's the closest time that we can get it to you is the Friday before. If Terry chooses to do so, she can print it off on the Saturday. She will have a digital version of these reports as well, and she will have the ability to download the reports up until Saturday. So that's a discussion that you can have with her, and we can have that discussion with her as well if you'd like. And we'll be talking about these things with with your local staff partner as well. So thanks so much. Okay, so this is the pledge form. So if someone comes with offline money, such as checks or cash, or if they've written their information, their credit card information on the pledge form here, this is how it will be filled out. If it's not filled out with all of the information, make sure it is. Make sure that the name of the participant, we've got Lisa Simpson and her address, fully filled out here, and then Lisa's also on a team, so that's filled out here, and she's actually also on a corporate team, as you can see. Her size of her t-shirt has been selected, and she's also put the walk location, which is extremely important as well, so we can allocate those funds and make sure they get allocated to your locations. Down below is the donor information. So we've got Ralph here, and we've got his mailing address, which is really important because as per CRA rules, we cannot issue tax receipts without a valid mailing address. If they also include their email address here, the tax receipt will be emailed to them. But if they do write down their email address, we still need the mailing address as well because that has to be put on the tax receipt. So Ralph has donated to Lisa $1,000 via his credit card. So he's written his credit card information on the pledge form, and the registration captain has highlighted that yellow. So every credit card written on the pledge form needs to be highlighted. So let's say Lisa comes and she has another donation and it's from Bob. And Bob promises that he's going to give her $20. But she doesn't have that on hand. She says, he's good for it. He's going to give it to me next week. We can't accept that. We have to, whatever is written on the pledge form, they have to give us that money, or that has to be written as a credit card on the pledge form. It all has to balance. So if she wants to pay on behalf of Bob, she can pay down here and write down her credit card information at the bottom. Or she could essentially pay for all of her offline donations and just write all of her donors and, basically keep that cash and write her credit card information here. And again, that needs to be highlighted. So the one thing that I'll put across here is that everything on the pledge form needs to match what you're given that day or written down. The credit card information has to balance out. Anything, let's say she's done online fundraising as well, none of that needs to be recorded on the pledge form. That's completely separate. That's been taken care of, that's been processed, and her donors have already been tax receipted. And then the participant must sign the pledge form as well. Okay, so on to prizing. So the prizing this year is going to be a t-shirt again for 100 plus. So anybody who raises 100 plus is going to get a t-shirt. That's one prize per person. I'm just going to say a little bit about this as well because there's some confusion. Sometimes you'll have donors that will come up and say, I donated $100. Do I get a t-shirt? I would first ask them who's the participant that they donated to, and if they donated to a participant, you would tell them that they are not applicable for a t-shirt because only a registered participant is applicable for a t-shirt. If somebody comes and says, I'm walking in the walk and I'm donating to myself $100, then you can just have them fill out a pledge form and fill out the pledge form with their participant information and also include their information on the donor list as well, and then you can give them the t-shirt from there. So if they are a top pledge earner, that means they've raised $1,000 or more, and they'll be able to receive a t-shirt along with the top pledge earner gift, which will be a drawstring bag. And if they are also a team captain, we will be providing them with a pop socket as well this year. A pop socket is like it sticks on the back of your phone and you can use it to hold the phone, to take pictures and things like that. And if they are on a corporate team, you could also provide them with a corporate team sticker. Every participant will also receive a tattoo. We will also be providing buttons to every location as well. They're called the Talk to Me About Guts buttons, and this will basically signify to anyone if they want to talk about their disease with other people as well. So those should be somewhere on the registration table for people. Okay, so again, prizes and gifts. This is a filled out pledge form with her information. If the participant has raised 100 plus, indicate on the pledge form if the shirt was received and in circle size. Right here. Oh, question. Okay, so the question is, will we receive a blank template for the recording purposes for offline pledges that we can fill out on site to balance with the cash?
Are you talking about the pledge forms, Sharon?
The pledge forms are for...
If you are talking about the pledge forms, that you can print them on. If you are talking about the participant verification forms, then yes, we will send them for you to record on the forms.
The next question is, When will the prizes, gifts, and tattoos be sent out? So the prizing, everything is going to be sent out by the end of this week, and an email will be going out to let you know when that's happening, when you should receive them, which will probably be within the next 2 weeks. Okay, so again, you're going to record here if that person has received their t-shirt. So perhaps you may run into running out of the stock of an item that a participant didn't receive. So in that case, we'll also be sending you the incentive not received form. So let's say someone needs a medium t-shirt and you've run out of medium t-shirts. So what you can do is write down their name on the form. You'll be sending all of this back, which we'll discuss at the end of this webinar on how that's done. And you will fill it out, and then after the walk, we'll get all of these and we'll send all of the participants whatever they didn't receive directly from National. Oh. Okay. Something has happened. Okay. Sorry about that. I think we lost connection. Okay, there we go. So, this is the participant verification form. It's actually a whole envelope that's going to be, this right here is going to be printed on the envelope. So, once you've received the pledge forms and the monies, you're going to check it all, you're going to make sure it all adds up, you're going to put all of it in this envelope. On the envelope, this information is going to be written on here, so you're going to add on the participant name, the team name if they're on a team, and all of the denominations of the money, so how many bills they have of each, the cash total, the credit card total that's been written on the pledge form, if any, and the check total if there's any checks as well. So you're going to write their offline total, and then you're going to write their online total that was printed off and given to you. Again, if their online total is different from what's written on the report, because that report is only able to be printed at a certain time, so there may be a lot of people that have, in fact, raised money after the Friday. So what you can do is have them just show you on their phone. So let's say I've got $50 that's written on the participant report that I've raised, but I come up to you and I say, well, actually, since that time, I've raised $50 more, so I'm applicable for a t-shirt now. Just have the person show you on their Gutsy Walk participant center on the mobile phone, and then you can verify there. So you can write that amount here, the grand total. So the participant must initial here, and then the volunteer who has recorded all of this and counted the money will initial here in this section. I just want to let you guys know that this webinar is also going to be uploaded, and it's also going to be shared with you guys as well. Okay, so you're going to insert the pledge forms, donation history pages, if they have any, and the cash checks inside of the envelope, and you're going to place this in that box that's on the floor underneath the table. Do not seal these contents because they're going to be counted again. They're going to be re-verified by the registration captain. So the registration captain will collect these boxes with the envelopes, and it's recommended that this is an ongoing process during registration. You don't want that box to get fully filled and do it at the end when registration is over. You want it to be a continuous process through. So you can grab the box when it gets maybe halfway filled with the envelopes, throw another empty box underneath the table, and start the counting process. Also, please do not leave any money or envelopes unattended at any time. Okay, so registration process continuing with the night deposit banking captain duties. Okay, so as the captain, you are going to be the leader who is the main contact for troubleshooting at the registration table. You're responsible for preparing the monies for the deposits, and you're responsible for entering the final numbers and counting inventory of incentives on the tally summary page, which we'll discuss later on. You're always on site, and again, you will never leave the money unattended at any time. When handling or counting monies, it is important to have at least 2 people present at all times. And again, a co-pilot will be very helpful. So, after the initial count at the registration table, again, you're going to be taking these boxes, you're going to be pulling out the envelopes, and you're going to be verifying that what's inside that envelope is correctly balancing and matching with what is written on the envelope, which is this information here. After you've done that, you will initial underneath the volunteer initials. The pledge form, donation history, and any other form that contains participant info should be kept in the envelope. So as you are checking each envelope, keep an ongoing tally per participant using this participation tally page, which we will also be sending to you in the packages. So this is what we'll be sending you. You will also be receiving both a digital version of this, and you'll be receiving a hard copy as well. So you have the choice of whether you'd like this to be on an Excel version, or if you just want it printed off and use a pen. We recommend if you could have a laptop and do it with Excel, because then Excel will just tally the totals for you using the formulas. So it's more convenient to do it that way, and then after that you can just email this copy to us. Yes. So again, they're using a laptop here, and they're tallying the totals this way instead of using a pen and paper. So once the monies are verified, separate cash, coins, and checks into groups by denomination. You and a witness will sign that participation tally page at the bottom. So it's down here. Oh, it doesn't show. But at the bottom here, there's a line for you to signature. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so once that's done, you're going to complete the RBC night deposit slip. So do not include any credit card information on this slip, just the monies here, just the checks and the coins. So we're going to send a couple of these to you, just in case you have more deposits, like when the walk is done or anything. So we're going to send extra copies to you. So each one of these deposit slips, there's 3 of them that are attached together. I don't know if you ever use a deposit book from your bank, but there's 3 copies. So the first 2 copies are going to go into the bag, the night deposit bag, and the 1 copy you're going to keep and send it to National. I think the first copy is like a dark blue, and then the second copy underneath is like a lighter blue, and then the third copy is a gray. So then your responsibility is to complete this tally summary page, which we will also be sending to you. You're going to include the totals. So I don't know if you can see clearly here. You're going to write your walk site here. You're going to put in what the temperature was like, approximately how many participants showed up that day. If you can estimate, that would be great. The pledge number summary, the cash total, credit card total, check total, and any other monies received if you have a raffle or a barbecue or something like that. So then you're going to put your total event day revenue and your online total. Down in this section is going to be where you're going to put the remaining inventory that's left over. So you're going to put how many t-shirts are left over according to their size, and then how many TPE gifts are left, and the team captain gifts as well. And then you're going to sign this and have a witness sign it. It's really important that you send this to us within 3 to 4 hours of the walk. You can either email it to Nivelle at her email address here, or you can fax it to us. We would prefer that you can just take a picture and email it, because we probably won't be in the office that day to grab it. So if you could just take a picture of the form and email it to us at first, that would be great. Okay, so you're going to take the cash checks, 2 copies of bank deposit slip, and put it into that RBC night deposit bag, which we'll be sending you as well. Again, 1 copy of the bank slip is to be sent back to national office. There's an adhesive here. This is how you're going to seal the bag. There's an adhesive here. This strip will come off when you seal it, and you're going to keep that strip and send it back to us. So don't throw this strip away when you tear it off. This strip has the number of the bag that's on here. So after that is done, you're going to deposit that money on the same day. So you're going to take your key that you should have got beforehand from your RBC. Using the key, you'll go to the RBC branch deposit box and you'll put in the night deposit bag with all of the monies in it. You should be able to just insert the key, open the box, and put the bag in. And you should be able to also drop in the key. You should be able to open from what I'm told, you can open the slot just enough to insert the key in as well to drop it in the box. If you have any issues with this, you can just bring the key back the next day, but the key does have to be returned back to the branch. And also, you should be accompanied by one other person while you're doing this because you will have a lot of cash with you. So we recommend always have 2 people for security, safety reasons. Okay, so post-walk. Items to be mailed back to National and new monies if there's new monies received after the walk. Okay, so this is just going over again the tally summary page. You'll submit this 3 to 4 hours post-walk by taking a picture of it and emailing it to Nivelle's address right here. So along with everything else, we're going to be sending you a Purolator bag. You will actually, oh, I've got a question. Okay, so the question is, how do we know which RBC bank to drop it off and when we should get the key? So this is Naveet. So Naveet, you should talk to your staff partner about this. I don't know what location you are in.
You should have already received the authorization letter. Yes, Terry.
Terry, yeah.
Yeah, you should check with Terry, but we already provided the authorization letter from RBC, so you take the letter to any RBC location that you are close to, and you get the key, and then you will deposit the money to that location.
If you haven't received your letter yet, just ask Terry for it. She should be able to give it to you. If you have not received it, but you'll ask her. Okay, no worries. I'm going to make a note, and I can follow up with Terry as well. Okay, so with your registration items that you're going to be receiving, you're also going to be receiving Purolator bags with our Purolator waybills as well. So inside of these bags, you're going to put all of the participant envelopes with the pledge forms and the donation history pages inside. You're going to put in the participant tally form, that tally summary page that you'll be taking a picture of and emailing to Nivelle, that incentive not received form, the participants' online reports that we'll be sending you, because that has all of the confidential information on it, so we want everything back. We want everything back in the spear letter bag. We want any copies of the bank deposit slips and also any copies of any unused bank deposit slips that you haven't used. We need everything back. That numbered strip from the bank deposit flap as well, we need that back as well. So everything will go inside the spear letter bag. So on your peer letter way bill that we'll be sending you, this will already be filled out with all the information. All you have to do is fill out your return mailing address at the top and drop off the bag at your local depot with the slip. You can also please email this peer letter tracking number to Nivelle at her email address. So within 48 hours post-walk, you will need to complete a Form A if you have any money to be sent to us. So this is an example of a Form A to be filled out. You will be filling it out with the account code 482535. That's our account code for offline monies. If you have any questions about this, please ask your staff partner. If we don't receive a Form A with any post-walk monies, we won't know how to code that, how to allocate that money to your location. We'll just get the money and we don't know where it came from, and we'll be kind of running around trying to figure it out. So it's really important that we know it's come from your location so that you can have that go towards your goal. Okay, so these are the account codes that you would use. Again, if you have any questions about this, please do not hesitate to reach out to us or reach out to your staff partner to ask them to verify. Okay, so again, like let's say, you know, this sometimes happens where you're done the walk, you're kind of ready to basically tear down everything and clean up for the day, and maybe somebody comes up and says, hey, I've got more money. Or it could be a week after the walk. Technically, we can still raise funds until
July 5th, 2019.
July 5th. So again, everything, if it's a pledged participant that's getting the money, again, a pledge form needs to be filled out. Again, sorry guys. I think we're losing the connection. Okay. Okay, so some important reminders. You can fundraise, again, like I said, up to 3 weeks post-walk day to be eligible for prizing money. So up until July 5th, people can still fundraise. Walk t-shirts are for participants who raise 100 or plus, and it's only one prize per registered participant, not donor, per registered participant. So outstanding pledges, please do not include on the pledge form. Online pledges, please do not include on the pledge form. So anything that they've done online should not be on the pledge form, as it will be double counted. And outstanding pledges where they just don't have the money, they've just written someone's name on the form with no money attached to it, just cross it out, and we won't accept that. So tax receipts. We require complete and legible information for tax receipts to be issued, and we will be automatically issuing tax receipts for donations of $15 or more. Less than this amount, if someone's donated $15 or under $15, the donor can contact us at gutsywalk@crohnsinColitis.ca, and we will issue them out a tax receipt. Just a couple of final topics. We'll also be sending you accident and incident report forms, just in case, that you can fill out if anything happens. And also, we'll be sharing with you the emergency plan to avoid dangers of weather, lightning, and tornadoes. Okay, so I'm going to open it up for any questions. I'm going to unmute you guys. So if anyone has a question. I don't know if this is going to work. You might have muted yourself, so you might have to unmute yourself. Hello? No questions?
This is Kelly. I just wanted to say I don't really have any questions because I've been doing it for, I think, 10 years now. So every year we kind of come across something new, but we've kind of learned how to iron out all those wrinkles and sort things out along the way. It's usually just when it comes to the biggest issue that we run into is with teams and sort of sometimes confusion around where those donations that people collect actually go. We've had a lot of cases where the participants that are on a team intended for all of their donations to go directly to the captain rather than to benefit themselves individually. So we've kind of come up with a little solution to address that.
Yeah, I totally understand that. You know, it can be so hectic and crazy at the registration table on walk day. The one thing that we have introduced that's new this year is after some lots of consideration and feedback from people is I know there's been in recent past issues with people donating directly to the teams instead of the teammates. I know that's been an issue. Yeah. So let's say I know John on the team, but I instead make a general team donation. So then John comes to the registration table and he says, you know, I'm applicable for all this prizing, but we don't see it on the report list because it's gone to just the team as a general. So this year we've removed the ability to donate to a team.
Oh, good. That's good.
So I'm sure that that's going to really clear up a lot of issues for you at that registration table this year because we're assuming if someone's donating to a team, they know at least one person on that team, so they're just going to have to pick a person to donate to.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Thanks very much.
No problem. Is there any other questions? Oh, there's something here. Just to re-emphasize, as are we to receive hard copies by mail of all the pages shown on the webinar? Yes, you will receive them in the registration packages that are being sent out. The online report you'll be receiving, some of them will be as hard copies in the registration packages, and others will be sent to you via email. Like the online participant report will be sent to you via email. The incidence reports will be sent to you via email. But the tally page summary and the incentive not received and those will be hard copies.
Even the instructions, incident reports, those will be hard copies in the registration packages.
Yeah. So as I said before, the items should be sent to you in a couple of weeks. We're going to email you and let you know when you should be expecting them. And what I would suggest is to open those packages as soon as you can. And if you think anything's missing, please let us know immediately. So I just refer back to this presentation that you'll also be receiving. And if you feel like you're missing something or you're even confused by something isn't making sense, please do not hesitate to let us know. Is there any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to the webinar. Again, I'm going to share this webinar with you. And if you have any questions afterwards that you didn't think of or you want any clarification on anything, please do not hesitate to give us a call. Hold on, let me see there we go. This is our information here. So Nivelle, she's the national coordinator. Jessica, that's me. And this email here at the bottom, both of us get this email. So this is the general Gutsy Walk at Crohn'sandColitis.ca. Oh, I've got another question here. What if we run out of envelopes? The participation verification envelopes?
We can send a soft copy of the forms So I'm not sure if you have any of the old envelopes, but you can just print soft copy of the form and put the money in any of the envelopes and attach the form to that. Like, I'm not sure if that has been an issue in the past, but we normally, when we project the number of participants, we try to project it higher than what it would be, so you shouldn't run out of envelopes. But just in case, we can send a soft copy of the form.
Yeah, you should have more than enough envelopes. You
Yeah.
should have leftovers, if anything.
And please, some locations, we know that they use the envelopes even for online donations. So, for example, someone comes and says, okay, I raised like $500, and they still write the name on the pledge form even though no money is submitted, or they use the form as a waiver. You shouldn't be doing that. The envelopes are only for people who actually submit offline money. So in this case, it should be more than enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point to make. We've received during our reconciliation a lot of blank envelopes with just names on them. So don't feel the need to waste envelopes by just putting every participant on there. It's just participants that have offline money.
Yes, because you also will receive a waiver for people who are not submitting any money. So if someone is not submitting money and they just want to walk, you can just get their signature on that form you will receive. And for the online ones, we already have their waiver anyways because they register online. So it's for offline money only. So
Any other questions?
No.
Perfect. Thank you guys again so much for all of your help. We really, truly appreciate everything that you do, and enjoy the rest of your night.
thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you so
night.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.